It is all going to start with this idea, my gorgeous Virgo. This idea which you are going to have at the beginning of this week is going to make you feel alive again. It's going to open your eyes towards so many possibilities, but most importantly, it's gonna rejuvenate you like there is no tomorrow. There is so much optimism that you're actually going to have at that moment in time. So please, my gorgeous Virgolini, you must not ignore this whatsoever. So at the beginning of this week is just going to be this idea which you are going to have, and you know what's going to be quite interesting about it, that this idea you are going to have completely out of blue, like at the time when you least expected. So you could be really stressed, or you could be really sad, or you could be really negative, or you could be really intensely working on something positive or something optimistic. But the bottom line is that it's going to happen at the moment in time when you least expect it. And this idea which you are going to have, it's going to be so brilliant, because at the same time, you know, this idea, it's going to clearly show you so much potential. Like, you're not going to be able to see it visually, obviously, but you are going to be able to feel so much potential about this idea. But at the same time, you're gonna feel so strongly like how much you want to kind of start the process of change, because there's certain things you are going to have absolutely enough of by this point, by this moment in time. And this is a lot to do with those things that have been making you feel negative, that have been slowing you down, and most importantly, those things that have been preventing you to be strong when you were meant to decide something really big. You would just go into this like indecisive mode, which is no baby no, you know, because when we become indecisive, we are just like, oh my god, you know, we ignore what we shouldn't be ignoring, purely because we don't trust our spirit, we don't trust our soul primarily. And this is why it's ever so important to go with that first initial feeling, you know, about something, rather than like, oh no, I'm not too sure. Do you know what I mean? Rather than, you know, not trusting yourself. So you just go with that first initial feeling. So this new idea, this amazing idea that you are going to have, it's like instantly gonna make you like so curious. But most importantly, it's just so much potential. You are going to be able to understand this. This is so important. And this idea, it's also gonna help you out on one hand to establish yourself, but on another hand, this idea, it's also going to naturally put you in this mode where you're going to be left with absolutely with no option but to choose to move forward with your life. And that in itself, it's gonna consist of you understanding that at this moment in time you are going to need to leave your comfort zone, but you will know exactly what that is. You will know exactly what is that thing, you know, that's keeping you in your comfort zone. And this in itself, it's all because this has happened like in the most of the spontaneous ways that you can possibly imagine. And this is also bringing you boundless potential. So it's not about, it's all going to start with like an amazing potential, but like a couple of days later you are going to become aware of other aspects where you're going to realize it's like not just any potential, baby, but this is to do with the boundless potential. And this is all about you transforming your idea into reality, like when it comes to you making your dream a real, but also being so confident about it, because now you're going to realize that you've got all the resources that you need in order to actually do this, you know, in order to take on this opportunity. This in itself is just going to make you feel so enthusiastic and optimistic, and your energy is going to be so strong and powerful while you're talking and while you're thinking about it. And you are going to be talking about this to somebody who's so close to you, and you are going to be shining so brightly. Your energy is going to be out of this world. You're going to be like, oh my god, do you know what I mean? Your energy is going to be completely out of this world, and you are going to find yourself talking about this to somebody so close to you, like your partner or your friend or your family member, you know, and that person is going to say, oh my god, you sound so amazing, you sound so so different, like you sound so bright, you sound so amazing, like while you're talking your energy is like incredible. They're going to be able to understand and see amazing changes within you while you're just talking about it. So this in itself, it's also going to inspire that person who you are going to talk to about what are you planning to do and what are you going to do. And this in itself is going to mean to you even more. Not only you're going to be supported by your loved ones, but also the fact that you're going to inspire them, it's going to make you aware of also like how powerful this is actually going to be and what an impact on your life this opportunity is actually going to bring. And it is going to lead towards you being so much more enthusiastic, because naturally you're making a huge step towards your dream. But then again, at the same time, it is going to lead towards your independence. Okay, by the time you get to the mid part of this week, my gorgeous Virgolini, you know, it's about the courage. You know, you are suddenly going to have a courage, and it's to do with an ongoing problem in your life. And this courage that you are going to have suddenly, it's going to really kind of, it's all about you having a courage to deal with what was making you obstructed and restricted, you know. And this was also like kind of affecting you to lose momentum. You know, this was like kind of, and this is a lot to do, like you having a courage to deal with what exactly you know it's making you obstructed and restricted, but you didn't have a courage to deal with this before. You were scared, you were negative, something scared you like about this so much. And now it's all the way to deal with this. It's about accepting loss and moving on, my gorgeous Virgolini. You're gonna set yourself free, baby. Okay, so you need to accept loss and move on, and that in itself is also going to help you to avoid unnecessary conflict, and it's going to help you to not to be spiritually stuck, because when you become spiritually stuck, you know, you become quite irrational, and that's not really good. And also when it comes to the midweek, my gorgeous Virgolini, you know, what are you going to realize? You're actually going to realize that someone who made a progress is to do with a specific person, like someone who is making a progress, an amazing progress, but you really don't like this person whatsoever. You can't stand this particular person who you're going to become aware of that it's making progress, and then first of all it's going to be like, oh yeah, great, you know. But then again, at the same time, because there is something that you really don't like, really dislike about this person. So I'm not saying that you're going to be jealous. I'm not saying that you're going to feel horrible, but I'm just saying that as soon as that you are going to become aware of this specific person in your life who you don't like, not necessarily in your life, but who you really don't like, and that particular person is going to be having some kind of progress, and the first initial thought is going to be like, oh, please. And then again, you are actually going to realize, what are you going to realize? What are you actually going to realize is some kind of like something that person did. It's going to help you so much with what you are going to realize that you also need to do. So it's not about that person, it's not who that person is, it's not about how that person is, whether it's a positive or a negative person, but it's more about your realization. You're going to rise well above it, and you're going to be able to get and see completely different picture, and you're going to understand why you were aware of this person in the first place, because it's someone who you don't like, it's someone who you can't stand. But you will understand clearly the essence of all this when it comes to spirituality, and why you were like aware of that person who you don't like or can't stand in the first place. And you knew this person for a while, you know this person for a while. It doesn't matter who they are, it doesn't matter how you feel about them, but it's more about your realization. When you step away from all this and see the bigger picture, you will realize all along why that person was in your life, because through that person you are going to realize what you need to do. What exactly do you need to do? What exactly do you need to change about yourself? What exactly do you need to try? What exactly do you need to investigate? What exactly do you need to explore? Because through that person, you're also going to realize, do you know what, baby? There are some changes I need to bring into my life. There are some changes that I need to do. It's to do with adjustments, readjustments, but it's also to do with the interesting realization of trying something different, trying something new. Incorporate this, what that person did in your world, and you will see where this is all going to take you. It doesn't have to be exactly the same like that person did, for example, but then you just like kind of like, it's just going to give you food for thoughts. Like, for example, what you should try, and what, like, maybe loosening up a little bit, you know, instead of being maybe too stubborn sometimes, you see, and like kind of not being as official sometimes, be more like careless, you know. It really depends how you're going to perceive this information, but this is so important when it comes to your spiritual growth, and also when it comes to you coming out of yourself, my gorgeous Virgolini, indeed. By the time you get to the last part of this week, you know, it's like, oh my goodness, you know, it's about this truth. You're about to, this truth that you're going to find out at the end of the week. It's going to, not only going to open your eyes, so everybody's going to see your gorgeous eyes. No, I'm joking. So this truth that you're going to find out, it's not only going to open your gorgeous eyes, but it's also going to help you to focus. And your focus is bringing you the realization that now you need to mix and blend things together in order to create something new. But this focus is also this truth that you are going to have, which is bringing your focus. It's also bringing your focus towards what you are feeling so dissatisfied and disappointed about, to walk away from it, to move away from it. This is important because this was affecting your spiritual growth, and it's also, this was affecting your spiritual growth. So of course that this is to do with something that is creating like a huge amount of negative energy around you, maybe on daily basis, which is not very good and it is not very healthy. And now it's time to evolve, you know, around this and move towards your own direction. But then at the same time, this truth and this focus, it's also this truth that you're going to find out is bringing you also focus towards you remembering somebody's advice. You're going to realize, oh my God, I ignored this advice, but I shouldn't have. Okay, so you're going to be remembered like that you ignored some kind of advice, and now you're going to be thinking about that advice, a really, really wise advice. Now you're going to be thinking about that person who gave you some time ago that wise advice, and you are going to realize just a couple of days later a variety of options. And this is so important when it comes to your quality of life, this variety of options. So the bottom line is, my gorgeous Virgolini, the truth that you are going to find out, it's not only going to open your eyes, it's not only going to bring focus towards you realizing you need to mix and blend now things in order to create something new, but then at the same time it's going to show you what are you dissatisfied and disappointed about, so you need to walk away, move on from that. It's not only going to show you that you were ignoring a wise advice. This wise advice is going to be brought to your attention because you're just going to remember this advice that you ignored. You know, perhaps all this wouldn't happen if you like kind of if you didn't ignore this advice, you know, all this wouldn't happen. So you haven't done anything wrong. Don't get me wrong, please. But it's all going to lead towards you remembering this, which advice you ignored. And a couple of days later, you are going to be facing a variety of options. This variety of options that I'm talking about is so important, my gorgeous Virgolini, because this variety of options which you are going to be facing at the very end of this week, it's going to help you, number one, to break negative habits, and number two, they are going to help you to choose to empower yourself. This is so important. This variety of options that you are going to have, it's going to reflect on your quality of life, purely because it's going to help you to break negative habits, and it's also going to help you to choose to empower yourself. empower yourself. It's like, oh my god. Okay, my gorgeous Virgolini, thank you ever so much for watching my videos. I'm sending you brightest blessings, lots of love, healing, peace and light to every single one of you. Thank you ever so much for watching my videos. Sasha Bonasin, psychic medium. Love you. Bye.